Hello, we're live. Happy World Product Day, everyone. Thank you so much for taking time out to join us this evening. And I hope you've had like an amazing day doing this product management that we so cherish and we're celebrating today. And people are asking why we celebrate World Product Day I think it's last week in May. We celebrate it for an acknowledgement and just to let ourselves know that, you know what, if nobody is patting you on the back, it's very okay to pat ourselves on the back. So thank you again for joining. And the plan for today is usual fashion. I will be introducing Mind the Product and then Product Tank Lagos. This I don't think we've done on any of the webinars before. So we'll take a quick poll, just have two questions just to sort of fill our polls today. And then I would introduce our amazing guests. We'll go into a chat and then it's question and answer at the same time because it's a chat. So we all know what the theme for today is. So I want those questions to start rolling in immediately. And so I have some questions ready. And once I ask them, I also want to see your questions so that we're able to go together. And then it's just wrap up and close. Again, welcome to Product Tank Lagos. And Mind Your Product started, I was about to say a few years ago, but it's not few anymore. It started a long time ago with a group of people coming together to say, we're doing this product management thing. You know, we've had a lot of challenges and some successes, but we know that by sharing, we're able to, you know, go further together. And the mission is to make product people more successful by coming together the more we share. And this also birthed Product Tank. And we're in over 200 local communities all over the world today. And Lagos right there is one of them. And I always mention this, and I'll just say it again, that we're the largest product community by product people, for product people in the world, and we're all over the place. You can see all those blue dots around. That's every city that we have some Mind the Product presence in the world. In Lagos, we started in April of 2017. We've had 4 meetups yearly, sort of, you know, some things happened during the panoramic and we were not able to do that. But thanks to close to 4,000 of you, we're here today again celebrating World Product Day as is our usual fashion. Mind the Product also has 3 conferences every year. The next one is in San Francisco in just about 3 weeks. I would copy that URL into the chat so that we can have it for anyone. I'll copy later. For anyone who wants to join in online for the webinar or maybe go in person, you can do that. I'll put that link later. I wasn't able to copy it and I don't want technology to disgrace me. How can you get involved and level up your career with the community? Do you want to speak at Product Tank like the 2 amazing guests that I have today? Please reach out to us. We're on LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, and we have a Gmail box. I will put all of that in the chat, and some of the other volunteers who are already volunteering with us would also add that in the chat as well. If you want to write for Mind the Product, please go to mindtheproduct.com. And if you want to be a member, mindtheproduct.com/join. There's amazing content, videos, and everything that can just make your life smooth and easy. That's stuff like that we're all looking for. Just go to that link and you'll get it. Now, I want us to take a quick poll. There are 2 questions, so I'll just run them for about 30 seconds to 1 minute, and I want us to put in our answers. So please either go to slido.com and put in that code or scan the QR code and let's get started. Okay. I'm trying to share the results, but technology wants to disgrace me, but no. No. So first question is, I'm sure we can see it is, what type of product manager are you? Just sort of, I want to get a pulse of who the people, who the audience is to this, just to get a pulse. Thank you. Just a few answers. You can do better. Keep them coming in, please. Okay. I have just like 20 seconds more. Don't be shy. Put in those answers. And if a generalist is, you are doing everything. You're a jack of all trades. Today, you are working, maybe you're working in e-commerce today. I've worked in e-commerce for so long. That's the first thing that comes to me. Or maybe you are in fintech tomorrow, or you're not doing everything. But if you're a specialist, you're particularly focusing on maybe like a data product, or maybe you are in the fintech space, focusing on maybe payment gateway or like loans or something. That's what a specialist is. Cool. Okay. I'm moving on to the next question now. Second question is, where do you see yourself in 3 years? I know a lot of us don't think that fast. Some of you are just thinking, what am I having for dinner? It's okay. Or how to get through Lagos traffic. That's perfect. But yeah, the question's first answer is, oh, a lot of people are saying founder. I love it so much. Interesting. And some people are saying I'm not doing again. That's also nice. That's also perfect. Okay, cool. I'm going to share the results of the polls like right after so we can see how everyone amazing. Thank you. Nobody is choosing CPO. That's interesting. Okay, cool. Just give like 20 more seconds. Please keep your answers coming in. Thank you so much. I'm trying to share it. I don't know why the thing is not sharing. Cool. I'm going to stop that now so we can continue with it. Amazing. So today's theme or topic is career growth and how we are progressing in our roles as product managers. A lot of us started out, we're just writing stories, we're grooming backlog. One senior PM will say, Zainab, it's like you're not catching these things. Do this way, do this way. And then when I became a senior PM, I was saying, yes, it's like you're not doing this thing right. Why not write it this way? And so there's a lot of that different progression. Some people are progressing vertically, some are progressing horizontally. Some people, like in the polls, some people are just saying, I'm not doing this thing again. And they are going to other things that bring joy to them. So I took this screenshot from Neil Cabby. They wrote it in 2019 and sort of divided what we product managers do or how we progress in our careers in 4 ways. So on the top side, there's the things we do strategically. So maybe that's product visioning or innovation and technical partnerships. Below that is the tactical skills that we may have. On the right hand side is from those people who do internal tools, you're running SQL queries, you're doing a lot of system analysis. And the external side is you're pretty focused on users, their persona, segments, and doing a lot of interviews. But I wouldn't say a lot of confusion, but there's really, most of us sort of at the beginning of our careers, we're generalists, we're doing everything. You really don't know what your focus is. But today we have two amazing guests that are going to help us break down where you are at in your career journey, what more do you want to add onto your plate, and just to give us like a general sense of how we're building these careers. So I have Stella. I'm just going to bring two of them up into the stream. Stella works as a lead product manager at Flutterwave. And I have Richards, who is a senior product manager at Migo. Hi, Stella. Hi, Richards.
Hi.
Yes. And when I saw their bios, I said, I'm not going to be the one to I'm not going to be the one to introduce these people. I want them to introduce themselves briefly, and then we'll just start on with the chat. So Stella, please go first.
All right. Hi everyone. So obviously I'm not going to read through my entire bio. I'll just give a summary. So I've been a PM for, I would say 8 years normally, but full time I would say 6 years. 8 years because after school for 1 year I was an associate PM, where I got really interested in the career path and I decided to grow my career here. So, but full time as a PM, I've been doing this for 6 years. I'm currently a PM, a lead PM in Flutterwave. I manage our lending product portfolio, and we have a cross-border school fees payments platform which we're about to launch. So once I got this new product added to my portfolio, I became a lead PM. On the side, I am building my own startup. It's still in the product discovery phase. I just have a coming soon page which is live. And the purpose of this startup is to help busy professionals to sell items they no longer need, basically. And I'm looking at buyers all over the world for sellers in Africa. So that's a very quick bio. I think I'll just hand over to Richard.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. So, being a PM, well, my name is Richard, clearly. I think I've been a PM for about 7 years. I mean, having the title product manager, but I've been working in the fintech space for 8 years. Started off at AppZone, and I've hopped around a lot in the fintech space. So what would I say that is very interesting? I think I would say that I found myself in, as we probably discussed today, there are different types of product managers, and I think I'm sort of, I think I'm more of a technical type product manager, as we'll probably see, and I've come to build my niche around it. Lots of experience building B2C products, B2B products in the fintech space. On the side, I have like some sort of consultancy where I help people to build. So people who have ideas and they want to build up their build products, they sort of bring it to me and I help them to think through the process and help them to validate their ideas before launch. So I don't have a page yet like Stella, but I mean, that's a very great idea. I probably should go and get that done. Yeah, but yeah, that's brief about me. I'm sure as we talk, I'll give more insight to things I've been doing.
Here's the reason why I felt a bit inadequate to introduce both of you, because I said, no, 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 no. So let's get right into it. So as product managers, every day we're always making assumptions about, okay, assuming that users will do it this way, maybe the internal tool that you're building, this is how customer service will use it. And so the biggest assumption today is that those of us on this call or watching this live stream are somewhat in the product related field. And so I've sort of divided how we're going to talk about our career progress in two buckets. So one is how people change roles or change jobs, and how that progression actually happens. And so a lot of times, or how I started as a product manager is I moved internally because there was an opportunity for progress. And then people also move for things such as maybe there's a bigger role name. So maybe they want to be the chief backlog groomer or senior scrum coordinator. Some people move because probably where they are, it was just they were the only PMs and then they moved to manage a team. Some people move for money, amazing. Some people move because they have like senior leaders in that company who they want to learn from, maybe some form of informal mentorship or some form of cultural perception that they have about that company. They're always tweeting, they're always raising funds, their company is always going on yearly retreats. Myself, I'm looking for that kind of thing. So Stella, I will start with you. You've been a product manager for a really long time and you've moved I think this is like you've moved between four companies doing product management. What would you say informed each of your move? Were you trying to become a chief backlog groomer, or what was that thing that made you see that there wasn't some progress in where there wasn't progress where you were and you wanted to move on to the next step?
Wow, this is a very funny question, but I'll try to be as honest as possible. So my entry into product management, to be honest, I worked with a very, very good PM in a startup, right? And he was very structured. I love how the team works together. Everyone was so excited because it was a startup then. I think it's called L5 Lab. I don't know if it's still in existence today, but this was where I started off. And I just love how everyone was, they owned the products. They were excited to build something different. And, this got me excited because I like to build. I'm a worker, forget all this, but I like to work hard, right? I'm always on my desk thinking about stuff. I like to build things as well. So what made me move was, to be honest, more challenging responsibilities. That is just it. My first full-time job as a PM was in Access Bank. I worked in the digital channels department where I was responsible for, there was an e-commerce collection solution we had then as Access Bank. And I was frustrated with the fact that it was outsourced, like it was a third party that built the solution for the bank. So a lot of things had to depend on our partner and I didn't have full control of my product. So this got me frustrated. I did this for about 2 years, 6 months, and then someone reached out to me for another job offer. I hopped on it. I got to the new place, I improved the KPIs. It felt, it wasn't exciting anymore. I got another opportunity and I moved again. And basically new opportunities excite me. And this is what makes me to move, right? That's just it in a nutshell.
Okay, cool. Richard, do you want to add to that? Because I looked at your profile as well. You people's very intimidating profile, and this is your fifth company. So, what would you say informed your moves, and how would you sort of advise someone who's on their journey to progressing in their career as a product manager?
Yeah, I would say the companies that I've moved in, I think for me have been very strategic. So I look at what is the value proposition or what is the main product that that company has and what the value is providing. So, for instance, I started off at eTransact. There were so many products there, and similar to what Stella said, an opportunity came, and I was able to move to Carbon. Now, I moved to Carbon when I found it very interesting because I had used it personally. So I was amazed by the product at the time. It was at 2018. I mean, digital lending was becoming a thing where, on your app, you get it, download the app, and you're able to give you a loan. I used it personally, like, this is incredible. So when I got the chance to move to, they were pay later at the time, I hopped on it immediately because I said, I want to be part of this. And that greatly helped my career, because I got to build even much more products end to end because they were startup-ish. I won't say startups, but when you're in a bigger company like an eTrans or an InterSwitch, as a PM, there's so much nitty-gritty that you may not get your hands on versus when you're in a startup type kind of company. So that was the opportunity that I got, and that's pretty much what informed me. So I look at the product before I move. What is the product, the key product? What's the value proposition? Do I find this interesting? When I moved to our job card, it was agency banking. I'm like, okay, I'm in fintech, I've been doing consumer things. Let me look at agency banking. And that was why I moved there. Did some stuff there, and then I'm like, okay, I think I had enough feel. And the thing I must say here is that once you get in, right, it becomes sort of easy to move because opportunities will be presenting themselves. You don't even need to apply. I'm sure that I can probably confirm this. On LinkedIn, they'll be reaching out to you, and it's now for you to begin to choose. So you just need to get in, and at every place that you are, just do as much as you can, and then the opportunity just begin to roll in. So yeah, that's what I can say about that.
Cool. So I think what I can pick from both of you is you sort of maybe leaned on the opportunities that were there. You sort of leaned on favor, and it was just like natural progression for you. And so in these progressions, as you advance like up the ladder in product management, right, you move from what we call day-to-day execution, and then you start thinking about products in the context of business. You start looking at the markets that you're addressing, and on like an even more broader perspective. Sometimes you're even looking at the P&L, right? And then the common belief is you need some form of knowledge or credentials to grow functionally. Um, and as product leaders already, how do you advise people who are in that sort of mind space that believe that you can only get promoted maybe once you've demonstrated something? Or how do I move? So let's say I'm a junior PM today, and I'm looking at Stella and Richards, and I've seen how far you have come. What did growth look like to you when you were at that stage where you were just getting into products? And now in hindsight, how do you look at that growth? So Richards, let's start with you this time.
Okay. If I understand the question correctly, when I started out officially at eTransact, I did it honestly, and I'll say this: nobody ever said, "Here, I want to be a product manager when I grow up." I think product management is very new, and virtually everyone at PM today stumbled into it. So I started as a project manager and business analyst at
Mm.
Abzone, the first place I worked. And then when I got the opportunity, it was new to me. I remember I was Googling what's the product manager when I was going for the interview because I had no idea what it was. Product managers wear different hats, and at some point you may wear the project manager hat. So which sort of helped me to get in, right? And I was just starting afresh as a PM, so, starting from scratch. So I would say now when I look back at it, if I'm understanding the question correctly, I would say you need to have some growth is that you need to have some level of grit, to it will be very difficult in the beginning, but you need to stick it through because ultimately you're getting experience that prepares you for the next level, especially if you're like in the fintech space. So, for instance, while I was at eTransact, I did a lot of things with different channels, implementing payment gateways on different channels, USSD on the web, on mobile, doing mobile banking applications. These things helped me when I moved to Carbon. So if I decided to be very lazy and just, that there's a way you can just be moving about your day to day without caring so much about anything. I'll giving it a lot of thoughts. Yeah, I think you need to have a lot of grit. You need to be determined to be sure that every experience that you're going through, no matter how frustrating it is, ultimately helps you to become a better PM. Those bugs that you have to fight, those times where everything is like there are fires everywhere, those experiences in particular help you to become a much better PM. So don't chicken out and run away. So many times I felt like doing that, but those are the experiences that help you to become a much better PM. So in hindsight, I'm grateful for those times where things failed and everybody was shouting and screaming and all of those things. Like those experiences are helpful. So I don't know if that helps to answer the question sort of, or maybe Stella can help me to give much more insight there.
I mean, you've already said a lot of important things, right? So experience is very important to grow. And another thing that helps. So, for example, I don't like putting myself in a box, but I would say I've my experience has always been in fintech, right? And one thing that has helped me is, my I have ginger. People that work with me, they're always like, Stella, do you sleep? Like, because I'm always reading. New things happen in fintech, and it's such a very broad industry. And I've worked in different um, themes in fintech. I've worked in lending, payment, um, remittances as well, right? So one thing that has helped is having good knowledge of your industry. And because things keep changing, you just have to keep reading, learning new things, interacting with subject experts, right?
Yep.
Knowledge really helps. That's one. Experience also matters. And like I said, be able to be show that you're willing to learn, show that you're willing to help, and always show that you can take full ownership of something, right? And because of these things, I'm not a loud PM. I'm sure no one even heard about me before now. I don't post, I don't attend events, but my work, when I talk to potential employers, I try to speak about my work, and I try to also reflect my knowledge of the industry, and this has helped me, stand out. When they see that, oh, this person actually knows what they're doing and can lead a team to build something, it will definitely help you to grow in my understanding and in my experience, right? So this is just what I'll add. Yeah.
Yeah, and very quickly, just to add on it before you hop on Zainab, please, for all the PMs here, don't be
Nothing that please.
don't be a what's it called? Don't be talkative. Sarah mentioned something that I'm sorry to say I've met a lot of PMs that can
Ooh.
talk. I've also had to interview PMs before, and you can tell when the person has not done the work. So don't be one of those. Don't strive to be one of those PMs that can just know. Some people know how to speak the grammar well, arrange it well, but you can hear the emptiness that they have not actually done the work. Like if you're talking about building like a mobile app product, a product or a payment product on a mobile app, Android, I can walk you through the entire process until when it is pushed to the Play Store. I have uploaded an APK to the store before. You can't. I will tell you through the process. Somebody who has not done that, maybe someone else was doing that. The experience will be very different. So strive to do the work. Don't make noise. Don't have to be one of those people that are posting every single day on LinkedIn. I'm not saying anything wrong with that, though.
Absolutely.
It's better to have know
Which
the
has let
stuff.
them make noise. If noise is your thing, please make
It's,
it.
be-
Anybody who wants to optimize for
it's
what
No,
better to
what
know the stuff,
Richard is
right?
saying is true. Yeah, what
Yeah.
he's saying is true, right? And also another thing, before you hop on to another job, right? It's important to do something impactful where you are, because that is
Correct.
what you speak about in interviews, not noise or tech jargons.
Exactly.
No, they don't really care. They want to know what do you meet this company as when you joined? What did you
Yeah.
change?
Yes.
What how would you contribute to my own company? Always have these answers when you go for an interview, or think about this before you leave where you are, and always work towards making an impact. That's what I have to say. Thank you.
Sure. And to add to what you just said, Stella, I just listened to a podcast. I think it was super early this morning, and I'd shared with my colleagues. And you move from job to job. I can't remember. It was this lady. She's the director of PM. I think is at Adobe. I can't remember what her name is. And she said you move from job to job and from manager to manager, but you need to own your own goals. And so if he's doing something impactful there, or he's speaking at ProductTank, you don't know, just ensure that you are filling your own cup and doing something for yourself, if it's professionally or personally. And if you like to make noise, me, I don't support Richard. If you want to make noise, please be noisy. We'll be helping you to like those posts and be putting different fire emojis. It's okay. Be- just ensure that you're actually doing the work, because she speaks to some people, like you said, at interviews, and they will say we then excuse me. And then I keep correcting people. I'm like, who are we? Like, you can define who we are, but in the context of an interview, I'm there listening to you. I want you to sell your market, and then you're busy telling me we. I'm so like those things don't work. So let's move on. I don't see a lot of questions coming in, so I have more questions, and I'll continue. In the product management space, like one of the questions that was just on the poll, we have people who are generalists and specialists. So I'd like you to sort of touch upon what kind of roles we have in the industry today, technical roles. Some people want to grow all the way to become head of products, but they are not very skilled at managing people. So I want you to sort of help us break it down into, maybe you are a startup PM. How does your career progress from being like a sole PM to then managing people? Because you can also be director or head of products and you're still an individual contributor, or you can be a people manager. So how do those should I call them lines? How do they work out for you? Do you want to be a technical PM, data PM? Do you want to continue being an IC all the way till you lead the team, or do you want to be a people manager? And anyone can go first on this one.
Richard, you want to go first?
Ladies first.
Oh,
Richard wants to go first, please.
wow, wow. Okay.
I can
So,
go. I mean,
okay.
okay, sorry. So Zainab, I'm just trying to clarify. Are you asking about the different roles in a PM's career progression, or the type of PMs we have, types of
So
PMs?
it's sort of intertwined. So you can be a data PM. So where do you start from? Do you start as an associate PM managing internal tools or customer facing? So the questions are intertwined. So what type of PM role do we have? What do you need to do to get there? And like just sort of related to our local market share in Lagos.
Awesome. So I'll just speak on my experience, and maybe Richard can, respond afterwards. So for me, and I think it's similar across different, fintech companies. I started off as an associate PM, and on this role, I was just responsible for collecting requirements, right, from stakeholders, for users, and documenting. That was all I was responsible for. And documentation involved Jira. I'll prepare a PRD, send to my boss, he'll review. Once it's aligned, I go to Jira and populate, and that was all. Then from associate PM, the next level was a product manager. And on this role, I had, in addition to these feature specifications, documentation, I had, I think I was responsible for designing user maps, this user story mapping, how the product experience should be from point A to point Z. I was responsible for data analysis as well. Got collecting feedback from users, looking at Mixpanel and the likes, analyzing data and coming up with recommendations. And the next role was now senior. Yeah, after being a product manager, I became a senior product manager. And on this role, I had 2 associate PMs under me. I was responsible for a product by myself. I built a product actually from scratch as a senior PM. And I became more visionary in a sense that I was responsible for defining the vision of the product in line with the business objective. For example, let's say the business wants to grow overall revenue by 50%. I had to come up with my strategy for, how I'll use my products to increase revenue by 50%. So that became my responsibility, and also aligning my roadmap with the strategy. So now as a lead PM, I'm responsible for more than one product now. So I know the next role after this would be like a group PM, where you're responsible for a group of products. And after the group PM, there's now the VP of product or the director of product. And then there's the CPO and the CEO. So, this is the career path based on what I've seen so far.
Yeah.
So,
Did you stay at the point where you became a lead PM, where you were overseeing multiple verticals? Was there something particularly that you would say stood out for you from the role before? So what did you add? Is it just that you had more responsibility, or you had to manage like more complex initiatives?
Okay, yes, good question. So as just a senior PM, I was responsible for one vertical, and this vertical I basically started the vertical from scratch. So I was able to prove to my senior leadership that I could take a product from the ground up. Basically, I can build a product, I can grow it, I can align teams across the business. I could set up operations as well. It was a very demanding role. And I also, was able to groom an associate PM as well, to take on some of these responsibilities and delegate. So these are all the things that leaders look at before they promote you. Your ability to work with different teams outside your immediate team, your ability to grow KPIs. You need to be able to move revenue from point A to point B by 50%. Speak numbers as well. Show that you're visionary. Show that you think big. You don't care about just the product, but the company. You need to show that, leadership skills as well. It's not just about having an associate PM. Be able to work with them, groom them, show them the way to become a better PM. So all these things contributed to the promotion, and they thought that they could trust me with another product portfolio, and this was what helped, actually.
Cool. Okay, Richard.
So, Stella has already finished work on that one. So the only thing I just want to add is the type of PMs, right? I think let me just bring that flavor. So in my experience, I think I've seen growth type PMs. Now, these types of PMs are those that they are focused more on how to grow the product. Some of these product managers are they have more marketing skills. So they know how to probably use Google Ads well. They know how to do both offline and online, marketing very well. And their focus is maybe a generalist product manager, just a product manager has done the work, product is launched. The growth PM says, how am I going to grow this thing? Increase the acquisitions, increase retention, all those type of things. And that's what that guy is focused on. So that growth PM may not have handled requirements gathering. He may not have done maybe prototypes, all of those kind of things. So that's a growth PM. There is a technical PM. So that's where I think I see myself at. So there's that kind of PM that can sit down with the engineers and say, what's the architecture of how this, like, let's see the same system architecture of how this thing is going to work. So when I click on this button, what API are we calling? What's going to be the request? What's going to be the response? And how do I feed that into the experience? So someone that can go into those kinds of data is not afraid of, that can engage the engineers. So PMs don't like that kind of thing. But yes, there are those kinds of PM. They can go into details, right? Especially with documentation. There are PMs that are business-oriented PMs. I've worked with someone like that. So when it comes to partnerships, when it comes to negotiations, they are very good. So for instance, I can't consider myself, I'm not a business type PM. I don't like all these negotiation and pricing. I've met some PMs that I go to the meeting and I'm just shocked. They will tell the partner will say, we're going to give you this, and they will just sweet talk their way. And before you know it, the person is changing. And I'm like, how did this person do it? Some people are born naturally at it. They are business PMs. Those people may not be very good at writing PRDs. They may not be very good at understanding UX. But when it comes to business itself and how they can move it like from point A to B, revenue and all of that, those kinds of things, talking with partners, thinking about the numbers, crunching it, that's their specialty. Then I think there are also PMs that are more UX, UI skilled. So I've worked with PMs like that. When I was at Carbon, I worked with one. He is fantastic. So when it comes to, he doesn't like to write PRDs and documentation. I love that. I like to go into, if you see my PRDs, break into details so that an engineer can look at it and can start picking out tickets from it. That's how I like to do my stuff. But there are some PMs that they don't have that. It's not that they're not good. That's not their strength. So that this guy, when it comes to UI, before the designer comes on board, the guy has done prototypes. The guy has crazy ways of creating experiences. That's his work. And I don't like to argue. So when I was at Carbon, I saw the synergy. So I was working on a product. I was a technical PM. There was a business PM, and there was a like a UI UX type PM. It was beautiful what we were able to do together, right? So these are the kind of PMs that I've seen. And about moving into those, I think it depends. Look, no one can say I want to be a growth PM from start. I think the opportunities are just it will always depend in the context where you are in the organization that you are in. The opportunity might present itself, and then you just need to be smart enough to jump in immediately and grab it. So
So for me, you see those PMs that like to write API documentation. I just sometimes, like some of my colleagues are here, but I'll say it. I feel like you're doing too much because you have
wow.
engineering lead. Because if it's a small startup, right, where you don't have an engineering lead or
Mhm,
just you, it's okay to do those things. I have a
mhm.
CS degree, so I can do those things. But see, when
Yeah,
I have somebody to lean on, I will lean on you. Oh. You will do your work, and
right.
so and then of course I remember when I first of all took like a business role, and then I'll get into a room and everybody is speaking top line. This one I'll just be
Yes.
looking like, oh God, did they really bring me to this room? So over time, I think as you said, like don't live in a bubble. Just keep getting those skills. I started reading up. I'm like, okay, this top line thing that they're talking about, what is it? It means I want to be talking about top line. What about it? And so leaning on first thing is I lean on people. I'm not saying if you're a technical PM, you should not be choking your hand inside Postman and be running SQL queries up on that. But if
Yes,
you
I
have
saw.
someone whose job it is to do it, let them do their jobs. Like let's put those clear lines there so that you're able to focus on what your own cup of tea is. Right. And if you're also seeing that those numbers they excite you, when you go into those rooms and you hear them talking about those numbers, they excite you, read about them. And I think for both of you, you sort of leaned on favor in your progression. You got promoted, you moved to the next job, sweet people were looking for you on LinkedIn. Some people don't have that. And so I would say set yourself up for is it what they call it now? Set yourself up for success. be curious, learn as much as possible. If you see someone, there are people we call visionaries in the industry. If you reach out to them and they say you can learn from them, so God be the glory. But if they say no, also keep moving. But trust me, it will come in handy where you've learned something, and then some place in the team they're looking for someone who can handle like a bigger initiative that's going to give higher impact, and then this thing is going to give you visibility. So
Yeah.
yeah, pretty much. Let
Yeah,
me
Zaina, I want to just mention something quickly about this, right? For those people who, like you said, maybe since you're saying that we are favored and all of that, right?
yeah, you've
The
been
truth is
leaning
that
so much into
there,
favor.
there. What I would say is that there are some. I would say in your organization. So if you're currently working and you're interested in product management, I would say reach out to your product team in that organization. So, for instance, somebody you may know, Zainab, Angela, we work together at eTransact. And
Yes,
when I was working as a PM at eTransact, he was in the business development team. But
yes.
Angela was very, very interested in product management. So he would come downstairs, go that way, they come and so Richard, tell me,
Hey,
what are
Angela, look at how somebody is blowing
you
your trumpet.
well, I don't know if he's there, but I just remember him. That's a good
You
example.
should
So it was
be.
like, what are you guys doing? How are you going about it? I said, okay, I'm writing a PRD. Okay, what's in the PRD? What are the like? So he was curious. He always come to ask and always try and follow up. And when he wanted to do interview, he told me that he wanted to become a PM. I was like, okay, sure. I guided him through interviews, and his next job was a PM role. So the truth is, even though it wasn't in each transact, I've heard of people who in their own organization they were able to transit. So be curious. If you're interested in it, don't sit down and say I'm a business, I'm data analysis. So that's all I'm going to do. No,
That's
you
all
need to
about
go
my
and
life.
meet the people, ask
Mhm.
questions. Never so in case there is an opening, someone can even be advocating for you and you don't even know like this guy is interested. Let's give this guy or this lady a shot. So that's also thing. You can't just sit back. Learn is good, but with product management, I would say experience over reading over certification. Sorry, I'm not saying don't read. I'm not saying don't get certification. I'm just saying that at the end of the day, like Stella mentioned, when you go to an interview, I could care less if you went to product school and spent $5,000 certification.
Uh-uh.
What have you done?
I'm
So,
going to
yeah, no, it's the truth. I'm not saying that you
don't let
shouldn't
them
do
say
that.
we
It's
can't hold
good,
this webinar. It's okay.
but
Don't
it's
mention it.
important.
See for things.
I know some people that are very certification hyped, and I'm like, I'm not. I
Yes.
don't think do something first, and I think that
Mm,
ultimately helps you. It
absolutely.
helps you even solidify whatever thing that you have learned. So
Yeah.
I
Because
don't
I
just
did
put
a lot
that.
of courses on Coursera and Udemy. They were very fantastic. They helped me, but I realized that theory they or what I learned in theory does not really apply in Lagos startups like that. Because each CEO already knows where they're going to, and then you're now coming to bring something you read on one Medium article. I wish you all the very best though. I don't know how that, but yeah, a lot of people will sort of allow you to run your experiments, but because they already have a vision of where they want to go to,
Yeah.
that end goal is very clear. And also it's like both of you and I also tell PM leaders, right? If you have people with you, like Richard said, you should actively coach these people and advocate for them. And then when there are opportunities, sorry, there's some noise. When there are step up opportunities, like always try to bring them forward and help as much as possible. So I'll quickly go to the next question. I think we have about 20 more minutes. We've been speaking so much. So next question is okay, I think we already sort of touched upon it. What are the sort of like certifications or learnings or things that we should do if we want to sort of move into the next stage of product management? So I think Stella didn't mention that it was just both of us. So Stella, please go now.
Okay. Certifications. I have a couple to be honest. And this is because I like to learn, like I said, and I take these courses to learn, right? Not necessarily because I want to get a new job, just to know um, and also practice what I've learned on my current job. So it still boils down to the experience. But cool certifications to have, like product-led growth is trending now, right? So it'd be nice if you can learn something about growing your products in your products, right? And sell that in your next interview. And what else? I mean, it just depends on the skill you're trying to improve. There was a time I was trying to improve my data analysis skill, right? And I took a course, a Google a Google course in data analysis. I got a certificate. So that is my person. I if I have or if I know I'm lacking in an area, I'll take a course on it to improve and I apply it on my job. That is me. So like I said, the key skills, important skills to have now, like what's trending now is, like I said, product-led growth. People don't want to spend, organizations don't want to spend money hiring, marketing to improve their funnel, right? They want to be able to focus on a product and use it to grow their customer base. So you can take a course in product-led growth. You can, data analysis is very important. There's so much data out there. Like I don't want to go into specifics with how data has helped me improve my product, but trust me, it's a very, very, very good skill to have. So if you don't have that skill, you don't know anything about it, you can take a course in it. Yeah, these are the two courses out. I mean, this is in addition to product management, definitely, right? Fundamental management, so you know where to start off from. But if you want to improve your existing knowledge, these are the two I would recommend. But it does not guarantee you a job. In all the interviews that I attended, no one has asked me about a certificate. They've only asked me about a particular skill and how I have displayed it at, like, in my current role. And this boils down to what I was saying about taking a course to improve in an area and applying it in your current job. So yeah, that's all I can say. So,
Cool. So Oluwatoyin, I think we answered your question already. I will move on to the next question. This person says it's Annabelle, and she says, "What is the best way to master product strategy?" We'll just be bringing big English. I will leave it to two of you. So go on.
Shout out to Annabelle. I actually worked with Annabelle. She was when I was at Job Card, actually. So good to see you, Annabelle. Mastering product strategy. Well, I would say, hmm, you probably, it depends on the level that you can go and read courses on how to do that. There are so many, right? But in terms of, for me, what has helped me is, and maybe because I've been in more senior roles recently, is I always try to understand. So for instance, there's a company, the company has objectives, there are goals. Say there's a goal for the quarter, or goal for the month, or for the first 6 months or something. um so for me, and let me just use an example, is I think OKRs help, and KPIs. This is just the way I would explain it. So objectives and key results, and then you have KPIs. Now you understand the objective, and then you say, okay, here are the some projects, some key results some key results pretty much that we need to have that helps us to achieve the objective. And then from those key results, here are 2, 3 projects for each of those key results that can help me. So this project will help me achieve the key result, which in turn helps me to achieve the objective. The essence of doing this exercise with OKRs is that, in my own understanding and my experience, is that then any product or feature I'm building is aligned to solving a problem. I can link a feature, no matter how remote it might be, to an actual objective. That itself is a strategy. I'm not just building things for building sake. Everything I'm building can be linked to a particular objective, and that helps to drive strategy. So I don't know if that helps answer your question. Maybe Stella can help too. Stella has lots of experiences. You
No,
can
no, no.
help.
Yes, it does, absolutely. And I always say, if you have those OKRs, so let's not start thinking of features immediately, because when you hear let's grow revenue from where we are today for another 25%, the first thing you want to do is, okay, let's sell more products. Okay, I've been in e-commerce for so long, so a lot of my examples will be about e-commerce. You're always, let's sell more products. You're always trying to give something. If you start thinking about features, you've already killed yourself before you start.
True.
So the way you said it, just think about what the business objectives are. What can the what can the product objectives be that can directly tie into that? And if you're supposed to move from 0 to 1, 0 to 1 can be 0 to 0.2
Correct.
for a start, not necessarily the mid 0 to 1, because by the time you want to take that big jump, some of us, our head cannot carry big picture. Is that small picture we can carry? So just do it strategically, again, product strategy, and do it in bits so that you're able to achieve that end goal as best as possible. We have 15 more minutes. I'll quickly jump to the next question so that we can round up. Um, if you are in a company where there is no obvious track upwards, or maybe your manager is too busy to sort of like help you find what the next step is, what would be your advice for that type of person? Like, you're just blocks, you're like, "Ah, there's no hope. Maybe it's somebody that person has been in the company for 10 years, they don't want to resign. There's nothing for you to do, and you're not progressing. You've just been there, you're just collecting salary, doing end of the year party up and down. What do you do when you're in that kind of situation?
Sorry, can you take the question again? I missed the beginning part of it.
There's no way for you to progress as a product manager, so you're stuck. You've been on the same job, doing the same thing. there's no way up for you. What do you do? So I know a lot of us will say, that box, think outside of it and jump. But what else? Okay, just
So, I mean, that two things. If you've looked within your company and there's no opportunity, honestly, you can go. But if, let's say, the pay is very good, you can start a side project. There are so many solutions out there, and you can start building something until you get another opportunity, right? But I don't, honestly, I'm not an advocate for being comfortable or being in a single, like in a place where you're not growing. I mean, it doesn't make sense. So those are my two recommendations: leave or stay and,
jump
do
out.
something.
Jump. Yeah, because you want to add to that before we go to the next question.
No. I mean, it's just exactly what I would have said too, honestly.
Yeah,
So
how about going to tell the CEO you won't take that person's job? Because the person has been there for long anyway.
don't go and be looking for my ideas. I would not advise to do that because they are paying your salary.
I'm just joking, please. Jump out.
Yeah.
So Larry Hago says, as an entrepreneur who has managed several e-commerce platforms for some years and is looking to transition into technology, how do you position yourself? Interesting.
When you say transition into technology, do you mean like how? It's not quite clear.
Okay, maybe we'll take that question off because it's not exactly related to what we're doing. But Colin's question is related to, since both of you are starting things on the side, then how do you balance between being a product manager and wanting to build your own product independently or start your own company? Please, my colleagues are here. Don't start your own company. Focus on the work in the office, please. But since both of you have stuff on the side, how do you advise them to,
Okay, Richard, do you want to go first? Then I'll go after you.
Yeah, briefly.
Okay, sure. So I would say your well, be a PM, do your job, But the truth is, if you're interested in doing the side hustle thing, right? The truth is, PMs are very, very invaluable in helping to create products. Let me put it that way. And many people need help. Spoken with, right? And the truth is that just being a product manager even helps to sell your market to your potential clients. It doesn't. You don't. I don't think you have to start a full-fledged company to begin with. So for me, I've had people just reach out to me like, "See, I have this idea. I want to build this thing. How?" I don't know. Maybe the guy is like a business person, he doesn't have any idea of technology or anything. But your experience as a PM can say, okay, I want to build an app that allows me to do e-logistics or whatever it is. So for me, it's not just to say, okay, let's start building it. It's to help the person think through, why do you want to do it? What's the value proposition here? What's like, who is your target audience? Why would someone leave boats, for instance, or sorry, what's the name of these guys? Maybe Conga Logistics or K Express and come and use you. Like, help them to think through that. That's what I do on the side, right? To the people. And that's the value I provide to them. And then they are clear on what they want to do. And I can now say, okay, here are some resources. You may need some developers. Some of them don't even know how to go about launching any digital thing. You will be their point man to guide them in doing that. So as long as, I would say, let it not affect your job, because that's where the bulk of your pay is coming from. But it's also providing value to these people and guiding people who have no idea of launching digital products. So I would say it's very possible, but it shouldn't interfere. You can actually make it a balance, but don't bite more than you can chew, such that then you cannot do work again. You're in the office and then you are doing side project for other people.
Let them
Like
listen.
some people used to do. I will not call names. Okay.
Now, do you want to add to that so we can quickly wrap up?
Yeah, sure. So I think someone is asking, what if you are the person actually building it? So for me, I try to pace myself well, except in a week like this when I'm about to launch a product. By pacing myself, I mean I stop working with my 9 to 5 by 6, and I focus on my business from 6 till I sleep.
I don't like that. I'm so sorry. I don't like it. Oh gosh.
Except in a week where you're about to launch. Obviously, when you're launching, everyone has to work. And also, my team, they've helped me a lot, right? So my current team, I've built a relationship with them. So when I need help with a designer or a front-end engineer, they also help me, right? So it's just great to start off as a PM and build your own company eventually. And I think that's how most startup founders started. They pace themselves like me. They work at 9 to 5, from 9 to 5, they stop and they focus on their side business. So so time management really helps, and building good relationships with your build team so that they can help you in building your own startup. That's all.
Okay, cool. Thanks, everyone. We're sort of wrapping up now. So, final thing is, we're just going to share some advice, with literally like last words, not our last words. Oh God, I beg. We're going to share like some last words. So, Richard, let's start with you. I have like 3 or 5 to share. So the okay,
Okay,
let me start actually. I'll
okay,
start with one and then you go next. So I would say your environment may not be perfect, right? But make do with what you have. Um, if you keep complaining every day, you just be saying, God, I beg, this my company is irritating, my boss is disgusting, and you're not scaling up and you're not sitting there, you're not doing anything. To be honest, you won't grow. You keep complaining every day, and you see you've been in that company for 5 years, you still be complaining. And if you see that you're not growing vertical, and I think that's what I asked one of the questions about where you can see that there's no way up for you, what do you do? If you're not growing vertically or horizontally, please jump and go away. Always advocate for optimize for yourself. Like that's the biggest thing you can do for yourself. I understand giving your all to the office is great, giving you the remaining after your 9 to 5 to your side also is great, but please, if don't ever feel stuck. So what I have personally is I have what I call like a personal advisory board. They don't know they're my advisory board. I'll literally message them at funny times and say, I'm bored. I don't know what I'm doing. Can you advise me? And they say, oh, but I said, do you have 10 minutes? They said, I won't spend 10 minutes. I'll literally take 30 minutes ranting. But when I go into those rants, I sort of have an idea of what I want to do next. I'm just trying to, because I feel like these people are a bit smarter than me, right? So I'm just trying to use them as soundboards. Do you think this should be the next step for me? How do you think I should go about it? So also, like, don't ever be stuck, and then have people that are smart around people that are smart around you that can sort of help you to that next level so that you can keep growing in your career day to day. Pretty much. So I have 4 more. So Richard, go ahead.
okay. So what I would add is, I would say look for every opportunity to get experience, because this is what gives you value as a PM. So I know that it's not necessarily always easy. Zainab had mentioned it, and I think Selami had mentioned it too. Sometimes you have to be very aggressive. Go on Twitter, go on LinkedIn, go and disturb CEOs and founders, hiring managers, or whatever it is, right? Do what you must, because ultimately, especially if you're in a situation where you're not growing, ultimately you need what gives you your value. You don't want to be one of those PMs that is always just, how they say, let's carry something, and then 5 people are carrying, you're just holding one tip, and they say, okay, you're carrying. Then you now say, I carried the board. You didn't carry anything. You don't want to be that kind of, you want to be someone that actually did the work and you can talk about it, right? So do what you must to gain that experience, even if it means doing side gigs for people and all of that, just so that you have that experience. It helps you to be a much better and even a more sound PM. So I would say do what you must to get the experience. Experience over any certification. Certifications are not bad, by the way. Please try and do them. But like Stella said, I like her mix to it is she's using it so that she can better improve her work, not because she's going to use it to go and get a job. Because no one is going to ask you, so which
Yeah.
was it product that you went to? Okay,
Ah,
because you went to
Richard,
product type, I'm
Richard,
now going to give
excuse
you the
yourself.
job, right?
Excuse
So
yourself in this place.
they're not a product guy. I always recommend product dive. They're
Okay,
fantastic. I
cool.
mean, every
Okay,
whether I
okay.
work with them,
Oh
I've
my
been
goodness,
directed
I'm
to
not
that.
okay.
So yeah, okay. So
Please go next.
that's all from me.
Stella,
Stella.
please go next. No, 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 no,
Oh
no.
my goodness, my last words. This is so I would just say, like, as a PM, no one expects you to know everything. If let's say you're in a planning session, right? You don't have to have all the answers, because most PMs I've seen, they act proud, but deep down you don't really know what's going on. If you don't have to know everything, always ask for help. If you have an engineering manager, ask for, let him teach you what's going on, understand, right? You don't, and tell them, be clean. I don't know this thing, no, but help me understand. Always don't stop at not knowing, try to know. That's basically all I would say.
Okay. So out
Yeah.
of the remaining 4, because we don't have enough time, I'll just take one. So what I sort of did for myself, and I got help from like a mentor, is I created something like a cycle of progress, not a circle, cycle. So first of all, I defined what I want my career to look like. So am I aiming to be like one of the directors of product at Google? Yes. And then in that role, I literally ask myself what success is for me. Not the definition of success. So what does success mean for Zainab when she becomes a director of product? And then I sort of did, I think they call it SWOT analysis. I assessed what my strengths and my weaknesses is. And in those weaknesses, I said, which one do I want to learn? Which one do I want to practice? Which one do I want to master? Right? And how much time do I have? How much time do I need to get these things? And what are the things that are in my way? What are the hindrances that I have? And then I literally built a roadmap. I've not gotten yet to that director of products in Google, but each time I look at it, my roadmap, because see, we build roadmaps every day. So why not just build one for your life? I'm looking at it and I'm saying, okay, am I checking my boxes? Yes. Sometimes, like you see, I see a lot of noise about other people, and I look at that profile and I'm like, this could be you, but that is not what I've defined for myself on that roadmap. And then my roadmap is flexible. If at any point in time I look at it and I say, maybe this isn't achievable anymore, or this particular hindrance, because of that weakness that I have, I won't be able to achieve it. I'm knocking it out. And I'm happy to knock it out. Again, I have a personal advisory board. They don't know they are the ones, but I'm always like just trying to get from them. Like I also give, oh, please don't just be somebody that is collecting. Always sort of try to help as well on that journey. So pretty much. Thanks, guys. One last thing. I haven't read this book, but I hear and I've seen reviews from people who have read it that it's absolutely amazing. I'm not recommending again because I haven't read it. Please don't say Zainab said you should read it. But I know that people have said it's been exceptional for them in their career. So maybe please again don't pirate it. Buy your own. It's available all over the place. So I'm going to bring up Moyin now, who is our organizer, just so that she can tell us what we're experiencing next, and then we'll just wrap up. Hi, Moyi. Hi. You are muted.
Hi, Z. Can you hear me?
Clearly.
Hi, everyone. Hi. Happy World Product Day, and thank you for taking time out to join us. So yeah, like Z mentioned, we'll be having a physical meetup in June. That's on June 24th, and I'm happy to invite everyone on this call. So we've not officially announced yet, but because I have participants on this call, I'm giving you the specialty first before we now put it out on social media. So I'll go ahead to drop the link to the meetup in the chat box so you can just RSVP. So I'm expecting at least 50 engagements on the link. So we'll be talking about building effective product teams. Please join us to learn about team collaboration, driving innovation with a team, leadership, and team dynamics. I promise it's going to be fun. This session is just the tip of the iceberg. Our session on June 24th will be so interesting, and I can't wait to meet you all in person. All right, back to you, Z. Thank you for joining. Happy World Product Day.
Happy World Product Day. Thank you so much, everyone. Stella and Richards. I know when you went after you people, she was pushing people, say, if you don't come for this meetup, we are cancelled. So thank you so very much for sharing your time with us. Thank you so much, everyone. I know there are some comments that we missed. We will take them offline. So I'm going to tag Stella and Richard. See, they are, sorry, there's some noise. We're going to tag them on Twitter so that they can answer those questions. And then you can also reach us at ProductTank Lagos on Twitter. We're on LinkedIn, we're on Instagram. Send your comments. We have an amazing team of volunteers that would respond to it. So yeah, happy World Product Day, everyone. Thank you so much. It's been a fantastic 1 hour. We want you to go and enjoy your TGI, what is it, TGIW or whatever it is people call it these days. Thank you again. And see you in person June 24th. Moyin will be sending out, oh my goodness, my neighbors. I'm sorry. Moyin will be sending out emails and notifications over the course of the month so that you will be able to look forward to that event. So see you in person. Thanks, everyone. Have a beautiful night. Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Thank you for having me. Bye.
Same here. Thank you.